Alright, so as Kristen finished putting on all of her essential oils, what did you get lathered up in? A little stress away. I love this one. What is that? Valor. See, I actually did this and Valor in my infuser all day today, so I could just soak up these vibes. That is how you get those essential oils in your life. So this Yumi spirituality video on how do we cross market this is like a different one because I read a book and I don't ever read books, and then I got the book from you. But it was so funny how all this happened at like 2:20 in the morning. I get this message, and then it's like, you're going to have something pop in your life, and then I go down to Kristen's office the next day, and then there's a book with a merkabah on the front, and I'm like, holy signs, can I borrow that book? And she's like, yeah, you can borrow it sometime, and then I never grabbed it, and then I came down the next day, and I was like, seriously, can I borrow that book? And then I never read books, and I read, what was it, like 120 pages in...
Yeah, 126.
Yeah. I maybe read it in like 5 hours total from like picking it up. I went home that night, I read it till about 1 or 2 a.m. Then I got up the next morning and read it and finished it. And it was amazing. And it was, what, The Science of Miracles? Mm-hmm. And who's the I'm terrible with names, so I won't butcher it.
Dr. Sharnael Wolverton, who's a naturopathic doctor.
And what brought you to even get the book?
Oh,
let's get in like the whole science about this. Is like literally the greatest. It should be called The Secret to Making Life Awesome. And that's what she states numerous times in it. She's like, you're your own creator. Why not create an awesome life instead of a life that is like boring or like dreadful, like, but then it teaches you all this shit you didn't even think you were doing that you're doing, and I'm like, whoa.
All the time.
Yeah. So when you think about like when I went back into massage therapy school a few years ago, thinking about how the teachers would be like, well, your abundance flows where energy goes. Yeah. Is that right? Yeah.
And then Ralph Smart says this a lot too, like money is energy.
Yeah.
If you don't have any money, you don't have any energy. Like, restore that energy or create energy.
Yeah. You feel strangled when you don't have that much. Yeah. And so when you asked like how I came across that book, it was because that phrase just kept repeating in my mind, and so these oils just came back from a convention in Salt Lake City, and that was a book that was, there for sale, that I was like, ooh, these look really cool. And actually, I don't know if I told you this, but when I first saw it, it was wrapped up with like 10 other books with it.
Oh,
like
so it was the 11th? It was the 11th book? Is that what you're saying?
It might have been.
Numerology 11.
But I'm like, oh, like this looks cool. This must be like a group book club kind of a thing. And so I took them all to the register, and they're like, I don't think they're all supposed to come together like that. I was like, damn.
you got the most important one.
Yeah. And so I came home with that one, and I just, there's things that I just kind of gravitate to, and I have no idea why. And then, of course, I flash it in front of their faces, and they're like, oh my god.
Yeah, well my whole thing was, I saw 2:20 at 2:20 a.m., and I always look up these numbers, because I'm like, yo, serial twos. And that was Raphael, and then Raphael is emotionally an archangel that helps you heal negative emotions. And I've been seeing 111, 1111, which are all like, be conscious of your negative thoughts. And I'm like, I don't have negative thoughts. I'm very happy. Then I was like, I read this book and was so blown away. It's like, you have like 80,000 thoughts a day. And I'm like, well, I've only been processing about 100 thoughts a day. And then I was like, oh my gosh, my subconscious thoughts are so negative. And I was like, innocently was like, think about what I'm thinking about. What is it? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been thinking negatively behind the scenes and I didn't know it. And then that's what the book like really pulled out to my attention, was like, yo, you got, so I had like 69,900 thoughts I wasn't acknowledging, but I was only focusing on 100. So then it's like my negative was like 99%, but I was focusing on 1%. No wonder I wasn't creating that abundance from that. And then it was like, my eyes just open wide, because it's like, Raphael, I got that affirmation, then it's like he likes to pop up and fix you really quick, and then I see you the next day with the book, I read the book, it focuses on everything I'm working on, and I'm just like, ooh, creepy, cool.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about the numbers. I thought it was really interesting how in the book it was stating it was 34 gigs of data you're getting into your mind every single day.
34 gigabytes. Like, I was like, that's a lot.
Yeah, I was looking at my hard drive the entire time afterwards, and I was just like dividing it out because it's a terabyte, and so I was like, man, this much? I was like, That's a lot.
That's a lot of information. And
That's
to
a lot
think
of
about that,
information.
it's like, and then I mean, I would almost say like 34 gigs is a basic life. Like that's
Yeah.
like somebody working like maybe like a 9 to 5. Like if you're an entrepreneur and you're building like your own blah 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 blah, like. In a sense,
Overload!
I
It might
was
be a
like,
full terabyte then.
no, exactly. I was like, I need to get all this old information out because I'm like, I think I'm like my computer and I'm clogged up a little bit and I'm starting to freeze up. I'm like, what was I working on again?
But that happens.
Yeah.
It really happens.
Uh-huh.
And you
All the
just
time.
reboot.
Yeah.
I'd hate to know how many
Control
times
delete.
this past month I've been like, reset. Woo! It's like all the bells and whistles.
Well, the funny thing I got with it was like one part was something I never realized was when not necessarily you're thinking bad thoughts, but then a friend calls you and they have a problem.
That was the worst. And I'm
Then you're
filtering that.
like, okay, you know what? I'm a good friend. I'm gonna let them vent a little bit. And then she was just like how she was turning friends and family and being like, so how about you check this out on my website, and then if you still think the same thing, then we can talk later on. But I don't need to hear this at this moment. There's nothing I can do physically.
I got hit with that trial the other day. Somebody texted
that
me
hit
and was
me
like,
so hard.
oh, there's this meth head. And I was like, okay. I was like, I was very bluntly like, so what does that one person really need? Not you making this comment, and I don't want to be a part of that comment. What is the one thing that they probably need everybody else is in that situation needs? And I was like, just send them love and happiness. Like, that's it. Boom, cut it off. And I was just like, so like, normally I would hop in and be like, oh, this and that, but then I was like, cancel? what is the
Cancel, clear now.
Yeah, cancel, clear now, or I've been saying like cancel, clear, erase, replace. So then it's like cancel the negative thought, you know, erase it or clear it all the way, erase it, and then replace it with a positive one. So then even though you had that negative thought, now you replace it with a positive, so now you're at net zero. And then it's like the goal is just to have positivity at the end of the day. And then it's like the abundance that comes with that. It's been nice already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then her comparison to like social media, like that whole section. Do you remember when she was mentioning
I don't
how
get on social media and watch people's stuff anymore because I'm like, it's
honestly,
so
since I got done reading
Right.
the book, I haven't been on social media. I was like,
Oh.
I mean, I've been on it, but I haven't like. I looked at the amount of time that I was
Yeah.
on it, and it's gone down tremendously.
Or if I see somebody who posts something negative, I used to just to have comments and get like flow on social media. Now I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm like, cancel, clear, erase, replace.
Well, the people that I had seen periodically post like really just, what is that? Why are you posting that? Like negative. I went in there and unfollowed them.
Yeah,
Like, I don't need to see
started doing the
this.
same thing.
Yeah.
I unfollowed probably at
Because
least
like your
20-some
negativity is
people.
tangenting down on me, and
Yeah.
I could be doing 100 positive things, but now you got 700 people liking that, and I'm pulling them. No.
All the distractions pulling you away from the focus and just trying to drive you forward into the positive. Like,
And it's funny, and then I've watched a lot of Ralph Smart videos this week that mention like programming and all this program television. Like as I got into this spiritual path, I totally shifted away from watching television. Now I only watch Netflix if it's like a spiritual movie, like A Wrinkle in Time was so awesome. It might be rated PG, but it's like the coolest movie ever. And it's just like pulling away from that stuff, and I'm not really focusing on that, but if I do, it's like I have great intentions of what I'm watching, why I'm watching it, and how I'm going to watch it. And then just like 100% wiping that stuff out, because it's like the news. Tell me like how many the news is broken up in like 10% positivity to like be like, yeah, we still report cool stuff, but then 90% negativity. And then after reading that book, I was like endlessly hit that again and again, and I was like, what if we create a news station that only focused on positivity in Kansas City? And I was like,
Be shocked.
that's a home run idea. Like literally, you don't have to watch all these other stations. If all right, we're just going to tell you all the cool stuff happening. Because essentially the news creates fear.
Yep.
And it's like, it's literally like local terrorism.
Yeah.
Because terrorism
Sad.
is creating fear through actions or stories, and the news reports terrorism.
Controlled chaos.
And usually there's an agenda behind it too. So there's
And it's all about
something.
TV ratings and getting
that
people
too.
attracted over to commercials, and then those commercials magically help people that they're channeling or programming to this mindset. It's like, look how many drug commercials you see during the news.
Oh my gosh.
Especially at 7 o'clock to about 9 o'clock. They target very highly around there. And then if you look at the stories related to that, it's incredible. But then it's like pulling yourself out of that. And this book is a great eye-opener.
Yeah. Everybody should read
third
it.
eye opener
Definitely.
for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this
I
guy.
took a little nap, and man, I was traveling all over the place. Like, that's all I saw. I was just like, I don't know if I was in a car or what, but all I know is I was just going
That's
around.
a merkabah
traveling
trick
everywhere.
right there, man.
Yeah.
You're cruising the universe.
Yeah, it was a lot
And that
of
was the
fun.
other cool thing,
It
the
was-
butterfly effect it
Then he woke
covers.
me up.
And it said, so I'm reading this, let's see, what was it, Sunday? Did I give it Saturday morning?
Yeah.
I was reading it out front of Hy-Vee Arena, and the lights hit me, and I'm like, oh, this is a good part. And I'm reading about the butterfly effect and how the universe will rearrange everything to like set you on your path. As I read the butterfly effect, and I'm like, oh, I love the butterfly effect. DJ Snake, his album dropped, and I got the notification on Apple Music, so I'm like, cool, I'm gonna open this. And the first song's called Butterfly Effect, and I was like, one, Apple Music has never told me when an artist was dropping an album like that. Two, what are the chances that his first song is called Butterfly Effect? As I'm reading the page of Butterfly Effect, and I'm like, now that's a true butterfly effect. And I'm just like, I'm like, Raphael, you are a comedian.
The signs.
And then I think I told you, and you right away, I was like, oh my gosh, this is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just read it in one sitting. I couldn't stop.
Yeah. And that's
like,
what
he handed it off to me, and I was probably like 1:30. It was about 5:30 when I finished. I've only read 3 full books now.
Yeah.
This and 2 others. One was in high school, and one was actually for fun, surprisingly. But
Spark Notes, huh?
yeah, Spark Notes.
Spark
is
Notes,
amazing.
yeah. I think I've read the
Absolutely amazing.
Think Like Tiger was one I read. That was like the cool psychology golf book, and it was a lot of this because Tiger's very Buddhist.
Yeah.
And then this book, and then I want to say Where the Red Fern Grows. And the second chapter starts off with, there comes a time in every boy's life and he's affected with a young disease of puppy love. And that is the only part I remember, besides like the love story behind it all and everything.
Well, I'm thinking about like the books from my school and The Giver. I don't know if anybody's read that.
I've never read it. It's got a cool cover though.
And they made a movie from it too. And it's almost like this, I don't know, I'm trying to tie these two together. Like this book that we just read almost combines in a way because The Giver is about somebody who's trying to like create a new community, new society, where it's a society of programmed people, basically. Like
Well, it's
and
like,
so it's just
I know what you're
opening.
saying too. It's
Yeah.
like that. It's like The Matrix, Interstellar,
Yeah.
like all these
Yes.
movies and all these books in this area have the same trend, but it's everybody like taking their slice of the pie and telling it in a story that's relatable to their down chain almost. Because it's like, I'm a Pisces, I think like this. You're a Gemini, you think like this. He's a Virgo, he thinks like this. So now it's like take your own piece and like display it in your own emotion or your own outward creation. And now you just inspired somebody else who follows you. And then that one person shares it with somebody else. It's like, that's The Giver. I mean, that's the whole concept right there. Is like something like this video, opening the eyes to everybody who like doesn't read. Like maybe they relate to that. Yo, read this book.
Yeah, definitely.
Or maybe you're on the fence of like, is spirituality real or is this just like a schizophrenic like disorder? And then it's like, oh, check this out. This will open your eyes that all that weird stuff happening isn't weird. It's like really eye-opening. Third eye opening.
Yeah. I mean, it confirmed a lot of things for me that I just, like, I unconsciously or consciously was training myself already, and it was like, oh. Because there's, like, those moments of deja vu that is like, this, I swear, just happened in my mind, like, 2 minutes ago. How did that happen?
I told him the other day,
That was happening a lot.
it was either reading the book or making a video. I was like, I've already made this video, or I've already read this book, and I already know how it turns out. And Spencer's looking at me like, what? And I'm like, yeah, deja vu, man.
Oh,
like,
gosh.
Or I see, like, whenever I'm filming, sometimes I'll capture that, and I'm filming, and I'm like, oh, there's that shot I saw in my dream.
Right.
And then I'm like, wait, I don't even remember that dream until now, and I'm like, huh, good timing. Let's keep going.
It is the craziest stuff.
Or I synchronize to my camera at always 1 minute, 11 seconds, and then I'm like, oh, this is a good shot. And it always turns out to be a really good shot.
Except for the one time you had an 11-second shot, or the 11th clip did not work.
Yeah. That
Because it was Tanya.
Yeah, Tanya raised her hands. And I told her, I was like, don't raise your hands, because she's very energetic. And the camera just goes, it turns off, it resets, it turns back on, and then it's all fuzzy kind of for a second. And I was like, oh, I think we're still good. Totally corrupted file. And it was the 11th clip. That was the funniest part. But overall, great book.
Yeah.
What is like the one thing everybody pulled from it? It's like mine was like, know your subconscious thoughts. Like literally start just like thinking about what you're thinking about when you're not thinking about anything, and then you'll be like, why am I thinking about that? And then you cancel. What is it?
Cancel, clear.
Cancel, clear. Yeah, I think clear,
Cancel.
erase. So I double it, but it's like cancel, clear, erase, replace something positive, and I just think like, my positive thought can be like, I really love what I'm doing, and I love making films. Done. And then I'm endlessly creating that positive thought of what I want to do and what I want to be.
Yeah.
Which is what it focused on a lot too.
Yeah.
And the power of will. I will.
That was a really good story.
Yeah.
And oh my God, where was I going to go with this?
Right?
There's so many things.
Like
honestly.
the channeling. Oh man, that's.
Yeah, I mean, the visualization aspect of it. You know, just thinking about stuff happening even though it hasn't happened yet. Like, and that was so many people get stuck in believing that they can't do something.
Yeah.
And then you're literally creating a reality that you can't do it and you won't do it.
Yeah.
And it's like money, creating money abundance. I tried this trick the other day. It was like figuratively like count money in your hands, smell the money, because your brain, this little part of your brain doesn't know the difference between seeing something fake and something that's real in front of you. And oh my gosh, money just fell on my plate yesterday. And I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. Let's do that again real quick. What does that smell like?
And the fact that we only use a small percentage of our brains anyway, it's like we do have a lot of power in here. We're just not trained to use it.
And that's what all this stuff does is like I feel like you slowly unlock bits and pieces as you upgrade. Like that book talked about upgrading.
Yeah.
And Tanya's talked about it. It's like spiritually you get these upgrades when you like graduate this level. Boom, new upgrade, which is like a download, then you're at a new level.
I think I'm trying to think of something different than what you guys have said, because those were like kind of like the two big ones that stuck out. I think also kind of what I touched on earlier about people when talking to people who are bringing up negative things. I've already kind of exercised that one in the past couple days.
Yeah, I heard you last night.
Yeah. So I was on the phone.
His mom, he did it to his mom.
Yeah, I did it to my mom. It was a test right away. I was like, you know what? We're gonna do this. And basically it was conversation was talking about nonsense, and I'm like, this has no relevance in either one of our lives, in all honesty.
And it's bringing more madness to your life.
Yeah, and I was like, and you're just worrying more about stuff that you don't need to worry about. I was like, this has no relevance. Like, you're literally talking about a picture of me looking like an old guy being disturbing.
Oh, I saw that on my page. She commented on mine too, and I was like, I can't even entertain this thought right now.
Yeah, I actually meant to go delete the comment, but I forgot. I haven't yet, because I was just like, whoa, you need to chill.
Yeah.
And because she was so disturbed by it, and I was just like, no, I'm not taking it down. I was like, I'm sorry it disturbs you, but I am not going to.
I was like, 99% of the other people thought it was humorous.
Yeah, I was like, if it really bugs you that much,
just don't
I was
look
like,
at
guess what? Don't look at it.
You can hide it. You can hide the post too.
And I was like, or you could just unfriend me. And she didn't like that one. But
why would you say that?
Because I was just gonna see
you were holding your ground.
I was holding that.
That's how grounded he is.
Yeah, and but no, I've even just thought of other things like that, like other situations of where people have come to me, and I'm just like, you know what, that's not gonna happen anymore. There's no.
And you're a numerology 6 too, so all he does is attract conflict.
Exactly. So it's a real.
He's the conflict resolute guy, and then you were what, a 3/8. So you get communication, the teacher, the great communicator, and the abundance monetizer with your 11. And then I'm over here playing love and romance, and then balancing emotional teachings. This is emotional teaching, and I'm like, gosh, not again. And then I'm like, wait, cancel, clear, erase, replace. Let's make that the last emotional teaching of this week.
Yeah.
So it's like that mindset right there. Instead of pondering into your negativity, cut it, let it go, create something positive, and then visualize the future before it even happens, and then you get in this really nice algorithm of creating abundance in your future that gets laid out in front of you. So it's but then that was kind of hard, because then it's wait, you want to focus on the present, but then you got to visualize the future, visualize the past future, the even further future, so that you're living in the moment, but then your future's being laid out the days in front of you while you're still living in the moment. And I was like, That's quantum physics out of it. That's like Albert Einstein's a little confused with that one.
I had to read that a couple times.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, oh, what? And then I would keep going back to the graph and referring to that. I was like,
Yeah.
Pretty much what it said was forget about your past, forget about any negativity that's happened in your past, and then focus on the present and create your positive future.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like in a sentence. So
Yeah.
like,
And I really liked the tools that she brought up, the list of, did you guys catch that?
oh,
Like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
things that help to raise your frequency.
Yeah.
As you
Teas,
see,
oils, fruits.
and it's like crystals, and it was
yeah.
like quartz, rose, and I actually put my
Raindrop.
rose back on. Raindrop was in there. I saw that and was like, of course you took it.
Vision boards too. So I
Yeah.
mean, like, you know,
And I actually
anytime
had
see
you
that-
make a vision board the other day. Ironically, I saw that and I was like,
Yeah.
didn't know I was doing that.
Yeah. So it's like you're training your brain to think bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I think that book really pushes us to do that.
Yeah. Go outside the boundaries.
And then it
Color
also taught me to
outside
like
the line.
dream super big and just be like, I wonder if I can create this. And then it goes from I wonder to like, no, let's create this. So I'm gonna be in an Audi R8 in Cali, driving up to my big mansion. I'm gonna have just coins popping out of a fountain.
Pretty sweet.
That would be
Money on trees.
Just
Well,
like
you
that.
would have money on trees out in Cali.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
You never know. When it happens, I'll be like, yo, check out this video. I called it. But I think that's pretty much it. It was a good book.
Yeah.
I always thought it was like a
Easy
great
read,
like YouTube
wasn't
video.
overwhelming.
No, yeah, quick read.
Yeah.
It had density where you wanted to pay density to. It was almost like where it resonated with me. I was like, ooh, that's dense. Let's focus.
Yeah.
So, but quick, easy read. And if you're spiritual, it's like you get it. And if you're not, you're probably like, but it's a good book to like open your eyes, I think.
Definitely.
So, what was the book
Great.
called? One more time.
Science of Miracles by Dr. Sharnael Wolverton.
Awesome book.
Great book.
And then your website, revolutionarywellness.com. It's almost done. We're finishing it. After this video, I'm going to start working on that. And then we have yumispirituality.com. And then this YouTube channel. Be sure to share, like, comment below. And if you guys have read the book or haven't read the book, we'll have it down in there. And I think I'll link it to Amazon if I can remember how to do that. So enjoy. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you later.